Okay, there's this video by Kaiser D Gamer, and he makes some very good points about the Mangled Nerf. And you should watch this video. I'm not going to play it. You can watch it for yourself. I am showing this video because there's a comment I want to show. So anyway, this Nerf again shows that Behaviour do not understand their own game and they lack a holistic approach to game balance. They do things in a very ad hoc, random way, and apparently they just look at game statistics, which is very misleading. So like Nurse has got one of the lowest kill ratios in the game, and Freddy's got one of the highest. And we know for a fact that Nurse is a higher tier than Freddy. You can argue what tier Freddy is, but he's definitely not a high tier. So therefore the game statistics are meaningless. You got the context of the statistics is everything. Okay. And Behaviour don't play their own game. They need experienced Prestige 100 comp players on Killer and Survivor side, and they need to talk about game balance with them. Okay. So let's talk about this Mangled Nerf and why it's really, really bad. So in of it itself, it's not necessarily bad if it was just an isolated nerf. Right? But the problem is, it's a death by 1,000 cuts against the killer players that Behaviour seems to be engaging in. So they've got rid of hook grabs, they've got rid of camping, and they've nerfed plenty of things. They've nerfed slugging killers like Sadako. They nerfed a slugging build, right? Okay. They've nerfed some low tier killers in very weird ways, too countless to mention, while buffing some other killers, high tier killers, in very weird ways that are not needed, like Huntress. So they're very ad hoc, but they're killing the killer playstyle bit by bit, and everyone's going to go migrate to lethal high tier killers. So this Mangled nerf is going to nerf Sloppy Butcher. It's put a time limit on the Mangled status. So Sloppy Butcher is slowed down for low tier killers, Mouse 1 killers. Right, Alien, Huntress, Pyramid Head, Blight, Nurse, they're not really going to care about it so much. They're lethal killers, they tend to get quick downs. This punishes the hit and run playstyle, which is apparently now problematic for some reason. Like maybe Legion is annoying, but I've faced Legions who do it. Alright, you can counter it, you can beat it, it's annoying, but it seems to me the annoyance seems to be, it's like, oh yeah, the game is lost. Right? So, I've noticed survivors, they get annoyed if they get tunnelled out, but they get annoyed when it's a long drawn out game where it's a war of attrition as well. Not even if it's hopeless. If there's still a chance and it's a war of attrition, they get annoyed. And the 3-gen nerf as well, that's another thing that's been a global change against Killer. You get all these global changes, and a lot of these global changes, they affect low tier killers more than high tier killers. So it's a global nerf on low tier killer. So let's find this comment. And this, I want to talk about this comment because it summarises the hypocritical attitude that Survivor mains have. Johnson 16, 46 minutes ago. The reason for the change is probably because they want to get rid of the hit and run playstyle. Sloppy Butcher is one of the most prominent perks for it. Okay, I'm going to explain to you why the sloppy hit and run playstyle exists. Right? There's two types of hit and run playstyle. There's the willing hit and run playstyle. You do it on purpose. Okay. Alright. The only time I do a hit and run playstyle, there's two instances where I do it. I do it for fun when I'm dominating a game and I want to give survivors a chance to play the game. When I'm flexing, right? When I'm in the zone. Okay? And it sometimes backfires and I sometimes lose because I lose the pressure I have. Whatever. Okay? And the other time I do the hit and play style is when I'm playing an M1 killer. I used to do it with Condemned Stadico, for example. The other reason why I do it is because I'm forced to do it. Okay? I'm doing a hit and run play style because I'm playing against a good survivor. I'm playing a weak killer with low lethality, right? An M1 killer, and I have to break the chase to stop the gens popping. And And if you don't do it well, it can backfire and you just lose pressure completely. The person goes off and heals. You might chase someone off a gen. They'll just yo-yo off with a gen, or they go to another gen. Someone else is doing a gen somewhere else. Blah blah blah. So, you know, a lot of people, they're doing a hit and run playstyle because they have to do it, right? Especially if they're on a map with a lot of the safe areas and strong pallets. They have to do the war of attrition and break the pallets, hit and run, force a pallet drop, chase up a gen, maybe get the odd down every now and again, but at a slower rate than usual, right? That's an unwitting hit and run playstyle. It's not a willing one. It's forced upon them by the survivor's playstyle on the map. Okay? So it seems to me a problematic playstyle is a playstyle that wins for the most part. And look, there's playstyles as killer and survivor that I find annoying, right? As a survivor, I've tried to train myself not to be frustrated at being tunneled or camped or whatever. I still sometimes get frustrated, but I've tried to get rid of my entitled mindset. The only thing that really frustrates me about slugging, for example, is if the game's totally won and there's a spite slug and they're just letting us bleed out. That's the only time where it's wrong, right? As far as I'm concerned, that's just griefing. I had a game with a Swift recently, and two of the players were pretty bad. As far as right, they were pretty bad. They were pretty trash. They were very selfish as well. They didn't. One of the players didn't do pickups when it was warranted, and the other one was always going for borrowed time hits. They always get hit off the hook, and that led to me getting downed. So it was on death hook, getting unhooked, right? And I didn't understand his playing style because he's a new person I just started playing with. Okay, he got unhooked, and he was just taking a protection hit off the hook to taunt the killer. And what I was doing, I was fully healthy. I hadn't been downed by the killer yet, and I went down for him, to try and buy him time and get distance. I took 2 hits for him. And what he did after I got downed, the fucking clown, he took a borrowed time hit. Right? Now, no, I think it was after I got hit once. Then he hung around, took a borrowed time hit. Then I had to block for him again. And then I went down. Then he tried to escape, but the killer caught up with him again. He didn't take full advantage of it. If he left off the hook immediately, I could have taken a hit off healthy, and I was willing to block him at the door because of the mid-witch and take another hit and take it down, and I'll get hooked and give him more time to escape. Okay. And again, and the other player, he didn't pick me up. He was right above me on the upper floor, and he could have dropped down. He didn't pick me up. And there was another situation later on in the game, he could have picked up again, and he didn't do it because he was selfish. Now, the selfish player, it was against Vanity Mirror Myers and Midwich, and we was gen rushing him, and we was actually dominating him, and we should have won. Okay, I made a mistake in the chase and gave him free pressure, but even discounting that mistake, if the rest of the team played correctly, we should have won. He was actually bitching and complaining about the slugging playstyle. Oh, he's slugging. Why is he slugging? Like he's incredulous that he was slugging. He's slugging because the killer is trying to fucking win. You dipshit. Yeah? You entitled dipshit. He's trying to fucking win the game. Right? Is he meant to like just hit hook, let you get away, lose pressure, and let the final gen be done? There's one fucking gen left. Right? So, you're not allowed to slug. And now hit and run is a problem now. So you're not meant to tunnel, you're not meant to camp, you're not meant to hit and run, you're not meant to slug. It seems to me you're not meant to play in a way that wins as killer. Right? Again, there are some playstyles I find annoying, I find frustrating. Right? There's some killers I find annoying, I find frustrating. Right? Okay? I find the unknown frustrating right now. I don't like his grenades, but I don't want it nerfed, I don't want it changed, because he's fine. I find it frustrating. It's a problem with me. I've got to adjust to it, or just accept it. It's not an unfair playstyle from the unknown. Right? People can't compartmentalise and think about it objectively. Oh, yeah. Let's get back to this comment. Oh, so yeah, killers with side objectives are great. But the main reason people, including me, often don't really like it is because they can abuse the negative effects that come with their side effects. What does he mean by abuse? Pig can play for head pops. Pinhead can primarily go for the box. Only hero can do her condemned playstyle, and Wesker can just tunnel an affected person. So basically, to these people, abusing a thing just means winning. right? So it's these sort of clowns that led to the condemned playstyle getting removed, which was a wonderful playstyle. It was a high skill playstyle. It took high skill macro play to play it. It was good for training your macro play, right? It got removed because they complained and bitched, even though it was countable. Because I had long winning streaks with it, by my standards, right? Nearly 30, right? I don't go for winning streaks, okay? I was dominating a lot of teams, had a lot of, but I had a lot of exciting all or nothing games. I had a lot of exciting games where the last generate nearly dropped. I had games where I managed to condemn everyone where the last gen popped, right? It was very exciting. And I also had 2 games against pro Swift teams that actually crushed my playstyle, right? And I wish I got to play against them more so I can improve and learn, right? Okay. And this wonderful playstyle was removed because of this entitled mindset. So Wesker, tunneling affected person. Okay, it sucks, right? But Wesker's an A-tier killer. He's not invincible. He's an A-tier killer. He's not invincible. Pig can play for head pops. Like what the fuck? Just accept you're gonna die, right? In a game sometimes. It's a team game. Sometimes certain parts of the team die, right? Now, there's hypocrisy as well in the community because I've been interacting with larger Discord communities more often because I just want to get a feel for what the community's like. And there's this massive hypocrisy. So basically, if you complain about quality of life, things that feel bad for killer, or perks getting nerfed, right? You'll just get ridiculed, abused, gaslighted, and lied to, right? Or you get this weird abstract theory craft from them that doesn't apply to real play, and then they'll tell you it's a skill issue, right? But every single fucking nerf they suffer is an outrage, right? And I actually cheer actually a lot of Survivor nerfs on out of Shorty and Freud, and I don't play the busted Survivor perks, right? I don't play Adrenaline. Now Adrenaline, again, it's the problem with Adrenaline. It's a bully perk and it's a rubbing salt in the wound perk, right? It's a sadistic spite perk. I'm not saying it's always used like that. Okay, if it's a close, exciting game, right, and it's a clutch play and the game's just saved and they get adrenaline, right, and they manage to get an escape or 2 out of it, right, that's one thing, right? But what a lot of people do with adrenaline is your game's going badly, right, and you're a shitty M1 killer, and you get this fucking cunt dancing in your face, injured, taunting you, and then it pops, right? It's to give you false hope, dangle it in front of you, then take it away from you, right? And also, here's another thing. I don't like people who teabag. I never teabag a survivor, right? Now, I mean, it's been argued that, me not liking teabagging is my issue, right? And there's something wrong with me for not liking it. No, I play with people who don't teabag, right? For the most part. If you teabag, you're a loser, okay? And these same people who love teabagging, they rage really hard if they get hit on the hook. I've seen it. I've seen the hypocrisy. I've played with teabagging players. They hate getting hit on the hook, right? But they love teabagging. There's a massive double standard. And there's a difference between a shitty survivor game and a shitty killer game, right? When you get tunneled and killed as a survivor, unless you're playing with a Swift, right, you can move on, right? And even if you're playing with Swift, you're not trapped in the game. You can watch the game. You can chat with the Swift as they're playing, right? You're not trapped unless the killer does a spike slug and lets you bleed out, which is wrong. I don't agree with that. Okay? If you're a killer and you're having a shitty game, you're fucking trapped. And you've got these miserable fucking survivors. What they do is they drag it out, right? They wait at the gate. They wait to teabag you, right? So, yeah, you just want to move on to the next game, or you just want to exit the game, you don't want the DC penalty, you got to fucking hang around and endure the nonsense, right? You don't get to move on. In chess, you can just resign. In DBD, you get a DC penalty, right? So there's massive double standards with the survivors, with their mindset. And this massive double standards, because there is a massive double standard. People cheer on every single fucking killer nerf, and you get told to get good by the survivor community, but they cry over a slight adrenaline nerf, right? I was arguing about it the other day, like I was gaslighted by a loser. I might make a video about this guy. I was gaslighted by a loser. I tried to explain because again, I don't give a shit about adrenaline for the most part on a pyramid head, right? I don't care. If I'm on Myers, right, or a Sadako, then it fucking irritates the shit out of me. There's a massive difference. But this person, like, so basically, I explained it to this guy, right, and he went, "Oh yeah, it's just a skill issue. I play Myers M1 and I kill all the time. And I never have to face adrenaline. I never suffer from adrenaline. The guy was obviously a survivor pretending to be a killer main, which happens all the time." Right? Just because you dabble in killer every now and again, you got low MMR, you play against crap teams, right? Doesn't mean you know the game. I know it sounds arrogant. It's just like M1 killers, they get shit on by certain perks and they get shit on by good teams. It's just a fact of Dead by Daylight. It's just a fact. You can't deny it. And if you say otherwise, you're not a killer main. You're either lying or you don't understand the game. And I don't need to get good, right? I'm striving to get better, right? But my understanding of the game has nothing to do with me getting good. I'm probably better than you at killer if you barely play it. Okay. These are not things to go against these killers and then we play that way a solo queue nightmare. Okay, that's a solo queue versus a Swift problem, and behaviour need separate RNG for both types of groups, right? So solo queue need a separate RNG, and Swifts need a separate RNG for game balance. Okay. So again, this is a death by 1,000 cuts, and Dead by Daylight balance is slowly getting worse and getting worse and getting worse. And there's a double standard with, oh, it's just a casual game killer. Why are you so fixated on game balance? Why are you so fixated on this perk? So, basically, when a perk shits on a killer or makes life difficult for a killer or makes it annoying for a killer, oh, it's just a casual game, don't take it seriously. But when they lose and they suffer as survivors, then it's an outrage and it needs to be fixed. It needs to be balanced. It needs to be made fair. Okay? And I've played with a lot of crappy, entitled survivors because I play... I'm a killer main, but I do play more survivor than ever. It's probably about 40-60 now. It used to be like 90-10. It's more like 40-60. The amount of survivor I play compared to killer. And there's a lot of entitled, crappy survivors who don't want to learn the game. They don't want to get better. They don't want to think strategically, right? And it's not... And they lose badly because of their own mistakes. They give away free pressure. They get killed by the killer. They blame it on tunneling and camping. They let the teammates down. Okay? Or they unhook other survivors and abandon them. They do bad unhooks. Right? And the survivor, when they get unhooked, they panic and then run into a dead zone and they get downed again. Right? So this is a lot longer than it planned to be. And by the way, I've uninstalled Dead by Daylight and I'm not coming back until the anniversary event. I'm going to play for the anniversary event, because I'm sick of the game after playing for 4 months, after taking a break before that. So, yeah, over and out.